Hello, my name is Greg Story. I'm the president of Dale Carnegie Training here in Japan. I've been doing a podcast on leadership for the last 3 years, actually almost 3.5 years now. And in that podcast, I look at leadership, all the issues to do with that for leading teams inside a company. I also looked at doing sales leadership, and I also looked at presentation skills for leaders. My listeners have come back to me and said, it'd be great to have not just presentation skills for leaders, but presentation skills more broadly for practitioners, for people who have to get up and speak, public speaking, that type of thing. So I've now created a specific podcast called the Presentations Japan podcast. Now obviously this is about presentation skills here in Japan and in English, or it could be in Japanese, but I'm doing this one in English. So our audience could be a mixed group, Japanese speakers, English speakers, native speakers, but it's for companies, individuals operating here in Japan, and some things to think about when you're giving presentations. So I go right through all the basics. I look at how do you prepare for your presentation? What are the steps you need to do? I discuss elements of that, break it out, really go deep into the prep side before you even get up and speak, what's required. Talk, of course, about how to present your visuals, putting your slide deck together, what should be on the slide deck, how to balance that out, how to make it effective for you, what is the key point of using your slide deck. And then, of course, delivery technique, gestures, pauses, eye contact, body language, voice modulation, all of the key things you're going to need to be very impactful and very persuasive with an audience. So go through all of those things, again, isolating out elements and really diving deep into those different elements over the course of these different podcasts. And Q&A, how important is Q&A? So how to deal with Q&A, some things to think about, to prepare for, how to deliver with Q&A, how to protect yourself during Q&A in case it gets very hot and there's a lot of hard, very sharp questions coming your way, what you can do about that. Dealing with hesitancy, ums and ahs, and sounding like you're not sure yourself, how to deal with all that type of thing. And the things you should definitely never do. We go through in the podcast things that you should never do when you're presenting, because otherwise you're really defeating the purpose of what you're trying to set out to do here, which is be credible, which is to be professional, which is to be believable, to be persuasive, to have impact, to be memorable with people. So every week, Monday, midnight, Tokyo time, that podcast is released on iTunes. So if you'd like to subscribe, go to iTunes, sign up. It'll come into your inbox every week through your iTunes app there, and you will find that we will take all of the difficulties of knowing what I should do, what I shouldn't do away from you, and explain all those things very, very easily and clearly for you, so that as you're listening to these podcasts, you're getting some good background, getting some good information. So when you come to actually prepare the presentation, there's a lot more going on in your mind about what's required than before. And they're easy. They're not super long. We're talking probably average about 10 minutes per podcast. So they're quite digestible. You can listen to them very easily, but it's got rich information there for you. So the Presentations Japan podcast, every Monday, midnight, Tokyo time, released on iTunes. Go to iTunes and subscribe and enjoy good information on how to become more confident and more competent as a presenter.